We have a new Witherbloom Charm deck that we're starting with. This is I've been really enamored with Witherbloom Charm plus Tamiyo. You can go attack with Tamiyo on turn 2, flip it with Witherbloom Charm, and then the next turn you can pick it back up to make a mana. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. And so I've been kind of struggling to figure out like a shell, and I ended up remembering this old like Sultai mid-range Necro deck where like the idea is like Necro is just trying to kind of be a good card that like a good card advantage engine, but you don't have to draw it. You could just be like a Tamiyo Frog interactive deck otherwise, and you're not playing like Soul Spike and like a bunch of nonsense. And Witherbloom Charm fits this plan like so perfectly where you can sacrifice your Necro to draw cards if you want. Sometimes you can also just gain 5 life to draw more cards with Necro. Just like all of a sudden, the gain 5 life mode on Witherbloom Charm when you're playing Necro becomes really, really good. It's possible that you could, like, Witherbloom Charm is just really good in Golgari Necro. I could absolutely see that being the case. But I think I wanted to try Sultai here because I also like the shell. I also really like Force of Negation in the Necro shell, being able to go draw a bunch of cards and hold up Force. Has been a pretty powerful plan that you can only really do in builds like this. So we're really using the whole pie here in the Necro shell. Sideboard's maybe a little weird. I know Force Subtlety in the sideboard's kind of odd, but the idea is that against like Blink, I think you just want to cut 4 Force for Force Subtlety, and then Force Subtlety is also really good against Neoform and Titan. So all of a sudden you're covering Neoform, Titan, Blink with Subtlety, and then you have some like maybe some extra applications for the card. But I feel like that just is enough matchup spread to play the full 4 in the board, if that makes sense. And then we've got some extra Graveyard Trespassers for Flage decks. I'm playing 1 in the main and then 1 Cling in the main. And then a bunch of Sweepers. And then I decided to go with Break the Ice over Consign, where it's just not too easy to hold up the Consign mana. And like Force of Negation like does give you like the meaningful interaction against a lot of the stuff you're trying to interact with anyways. And Break the Ice is really good. Yeah, challenge is starting in 55 minutes. I know it's not a ton of blue cards for Force, but also you're a deck that draws a lot of cards, and I think it's just kind of fine. We've it's like it's really you would want like 16 as like kind of your minimum, and we're cheating a little bit on this number, I know, but I think it's okay. I do think Necro breaks the formula a little bit on Force of Negation. Thanks Darwall with the 53 months, appreciate you. Typically my attitude is like I'm not someone that has to be like I must play 16 blue cards for Force of Negation, and then this build has 14 blue cards or 15 blue cards, and it's just I have to get the 16th blue card in there. Especially in a deck that has Witherbloom and Necro, where you're just drawing more cards, so you are going to see more blue cards than maybe you would otherwise. So yeah, I'm chill with this number. You could try to fit some more in, but I don't necessarily recommend it. So let's go ahead and get into a league with this. And okay, we'll mulligan this 7. And gonna keep this one. I guess we'll put back the second copy of Force of Negation, although we can't cast the Witherbloom Charm. I missed Force, so it was okay. Yeah, it was good. We started off 3-0 and we finished 3-2, and I feel like we like if maybe with better sideboard plans we would have 5-0'd. Building the sideboard with that deck's kind of tough, but it was definitely good. And both Lorehold Charm and the reinforcements, both of those cards were like big performers, I think, in the league. Lorehold Charm. Should I say Witherbloom? Lorehold Charm specifically was like insane in that deck. Like all 3 modes were just all right. Keeping this, put back Force. My opponent is on a Multi 6. Multi 5. Well, always glad to have a Thoughtseize against a Multi 5. They keep 5. Let's see what we're up against. Living End. So I guess we take one of the 2 agents and we keep this Force of Negation for the other one with the intention to pitch the snare most of the time, I guess. Was Lorehold Charm impressive enough to compete with Thraben Charm in energy? So I'll say that Lorehold Charm in the Lorehold deck, not the normal Boros deck, it definitely was better where like you're discarding stuff really aggressively, and you can like reanimate Corey Steelcutter, you can reanimate Fear of Missing Out. That like that dynamic was really good. As far as normal Boros synergy goes, I think it definitely is an option over Thraben Charm. Obviously, like Thraben Charm kills Urza Saga, and Thraben Charm hates on graveyard stuff, and that's really good. And Lorehold Charm hates on Agatha Soul Cauldron and Ruby Medallion and Amulet of Vigor and Scion of Draco. Thraben Charm can also hit Leyline of the Guild Pact, so it's not like that. That dynamic's kind of weird. So I think it's you just kind of have to pick for like what interaction you might want for your metagame, which I know is tough for Boros to do sometimes to pick. Uh, but you can do it. But the sweet curve of going Outcast Trailblazer into Trudge, draw a card. Yeah, we've mentioned the Teamer Battle Crier deck a little bit. There it could certainly be something to trudge up with that. Looks like an Overlord maybe. No, a Deceit. Well, I'm having flashbacks of grief here. Well, not a lot happening in this game. Let's see what we draw. Another snare. All right, I'll pack it in here. We know they have another agent. Subtlety is really good against Living End. It's not good against the card Living End, but it's good against literally every other card in their deck. Um, yeah, I think I'll do like maybe I want to. I guess this is probably a matchup to go down on Witherbloom Charms. Like it just cannot kill anything. So like when the removal mode is offline, this card's probably pretty bad. Fatal Push does kill Endurance. It does kill Hardcast Subtlety, and which ends up being a pretty big deal because a lot of times that's what these games devolve into. I have. Is it crazy to play a Snare just as a blue card? I don't usually like Trespasser in this matchup. You just gotta tap out for it, then it gets living ended. It's definitely better if you have Force of Negation. I think I'll probably like maybe. Oh, I also have one in the main deck still. It does seem kind of interesting to tap out for one with Force up, but maybe we could try that. Why didn't I draw 2 cards? I didn't have any green mana in play. Didn't draw any green mana that game. All right, not gonna keep this against Living End. Can you try this one? Opponent is still thinking. That was a really good bolt to 5 for them, huh? Having a double agent and then Deceit for my Force. Maybe Trespasser is also like good post Necro a lot of the time. I could see that. Although I think an opportunity just to get a reasonable creature in the graveyard is always something I like to do early against Living End. Psychic Frog would be an awesome top deck, which could also like discard Sheoldred maybe. My opponent cycles a Street Wraith. Haven't done a very good job drawing green mana yet, but we have 4, 5, 6. We have 11 sources. Maybe it's a little low. Although it is definitely a light splash. Is the first Mona Charm worth keeping all of them in the sack in response to Living In? Tamiyo and Frog could be on the board at the same time. It definitely seems a little clunky. And again, like the best mode on Witherbloom Charm is the removal mode, and when that's just offline, I just feel like you don't want to be playing too many copies. So I draw a Frog, maybe a turn late here. I think I'm still gonna play it. Now my opponent, they graveyarded a copy of Endurance. That could mean that they already have another copy. When you think about cyber plans, how much do you think about card versus card interactions compared to strategy interactions? I don't actually know that these things are different. Would love to have another blue card so I could subtlety a endurance here. Had to play my blue card, I think. I mean, I could have played the Necro. So if I click no response, like how could I? If they have endurance, they have endurance, I guess. I feel like they would have cast it already a lot of the time. I feel like I did like a maybe a good job bluffing. I don't have any something else. How do they always just like not endurance in this spot? I don't know. Pretty sick, I think. All right, we'll keep this. So the draw against Watery Grave Thoughtseize. IG, yes, it was enough debate with just Subtlety. Yeah, I guess so. I was just trying to figure out if there like was a way to do it. Maybe did you have Force? Maybe I should have just slammed a Necro that turn. So the Verge does cast Snare next turn. If they leave me with Tamiyo and Snare in hand, then I probably do want to hold up Snare for Frog. They take Edict. Maybe they think I'm going to tap out of Snare. Maybe they just don't have a Frog. Although I don't know why they'd take the Edict if that was the case. Yeah, GG's. You had Force, yes, okay. So it seems like it may have been not a game we could have navigated around. Do I want to hold up Witherbloom Charm? Doesn't seem super likely I'll need to kill anything here. 8 toast to the 64 months. Welcome back. So we do have a cleaning up now that we have a swamp in play. They graveyard a copy of Pest Control, which is usually a sign that this is Goryo's. And they play Odivora, which is not something you play in Goryo's very often, so I don't know. If this is Goryo's, we do have Snare. They could have Bowmaster, which yeah, Bowmaster would be pretty awkward if we Culling right now. Although we could Witherbloom Charm it. Let's just untap. Yeah, I think I'm okay tapping out of the Snare. I have Witherbloom Charm that can kill Frog, and I have Cling to Dust that could stop Goryo's if somehow they're playing, or some kind of reanimator stuff. It's blue white X Frog. I mean, I think likely with the Odawara, yeah. I think it could be Blink still. It could be a reanimator variant that is just you know playing at a copy of Odawara. So if my opponent had a Bowmaster, I don't know how they wouldn't have played it last year. They warp a Riddler here in their second main phase. Are they going to consign? They don't consign. Let's go ahead and cycle a Cling to Dust. I don't think I've ever seen Verges in mana. Why the change? I have played this mana base before with Verge, and it's oh, they didn't push because they knew I had Witherbloom Charm to sack the Tamiyo. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and tap out for Necro. Verges just fit really randomly well here. Where one, you want a less painful mana base. And most of your blue cards are one man, or most of your one drops are blue, except you have fatal pushes and cling, but like your snares and your Tamiyos are blue, so tapping for blue early is good. You're right. You're right. I don't usually play Verges, but I do think that this is like a kind of a very specific deck where it makes sense to play them. And we have played here. Why no Triumph in this list? Yeah, Triumphs suck. uh, if you are not playing Leyline Binding in your deck, it's almost for sure wrong to play Triumph, I think. All right, let's snare this. I think we should not try to flip Tamiyo by sacking a land with Witherbloom Charm. I think we'll just hold it up. Yeah, Sync is too painful, and also bad in your Witherbloom Charm deck. Yeah, it's just like if you're not playing Leyline Binding, you almost for sure should just be playing like a third Surveil before the first Triumph. All right, so we're untapping. We're going to combat. I'm gonna play my Swamp first. This could let me have Force of Negation plus Charm up. Yeah. So why don't we just go sack our Swamp, and then ooh, what's this? There's a Snare here. Okay, so we could force back. Yeah, I think we should force back. I don't think the force is getting a lot better than this. I think I'd rather have a Charm left. So you can kill a Frog. All right, so they might think I'm gonna sack the Tamiyo, but because this is an edict, I guess a fatal push would be the same. But I'll sack the swamp, and I'll flip Tamiyo in response. And they don't get to change the mode mid resolution. Pretty cool. I didn't realize Green Charm's only green card. Yeah, I agree. The mana's been a little weird. Yeah, I think you can play just Golgari, Necro too. There's a lot of ways you could build this, and I keep saying that with like literally every single card that we're messing with. There's a lot of ways you could build this, and it's gonna take a while to solve Strixhaven. Solving Strixhaven with Aspiring Spike. So they have a counterspell, they've got a Fatal Push, and they've got a Kaito. I think I'm gonna minus and Thoughtseize the Kaito. It's kind of painful, but I do have a Witherbloom Charm to gain some life, and I'm just gonna. I think I'm just gonna draw like 4 cards, maybe probably 5. We'll draw 5, and then we could draw another 5 with Witherbloom Charm maybe next turn, or we could just sack the Necro too. Remember, you can even just sack Necro to Witherbloom Charm in your upkeep, and then you can still get your draw step. I think it's interesting how you can just be done with the Necro if you want, or you can keep going. Okay, they just concede. So we're up a game against Frog. I do think Force of Negation not really where you want to be. I think we can play like 2 Subtlety, 2 Trespasser. And Subtlety, it's okay. We're a little like this is a blue card, or a card you're just kind of okay being lower because on blue card count because you're just fine hard casting it too. Yeah, you can also sack an instep. That's true. And then when you sack an instep, your max hand size increases. Although then you also draw 2 more cards, so you gotta think about that. Definitely seems like a great card to pair with Necro. It doesn't have to be in this like Sultai shell, but I'm also just like I'm interested in seeing how it interacts with Tamiyo, and I think this whole shell kind of comes together like pretty good. And like one thing too is like Witherbloom Charm I think it wants to be playing like where your cards can kind of come together in any way, if that makes sense. Like, and so I don't think I'm happy to not be playing I like Soul Spike, just kind of being lower to the ground. All right, maybe a little awkward to have basic swamp and blue card and green card. Might just surveil turn 1. Okay, now we'll play the Tamiyo. How do you feel about Fate from History as a sideboard card? Obviously good. Can be too slow against Affinity when they have the nuts. There's not like a card that can always beat Affinity, which is I think good. You know, it's not something. It's not good with Magic. You always win. But yeah, when Affinity is too fast, you can't. You know, and they have counter magic, and you don't have ways to slow them down. And sometimes you're on the draw. These 4-drops aren't good enough, but there are cheaper options for you to play to like kind of stem the bleeding. You can like force and subtlety your way to the 4-drops. I think this is just like, you know, this is just like what the matchups are like. I don't think it's that complicated. All right, so they play a Frog. They graveyarded a Harbinger. Hopefully they don't have a second one. Okay, now we can beat a second one. So let me attack with the Tamiyo first. And they could possibly discard 2 cards and fly the Frog to block Tamiyo, and then we could get them with the Fatal Push. Doesn't seem very likely. Do we have Black March or not even? No, our life gain is Witherbloom Charm and Sheoldred, and I guess Trespasser Cling. The idea of this build is that Necro is a good card when you draw it, but you are just playing a normal like mid-range Sultai control kind of shell in games where you aren't drawing it. We're not like desperate to have Necro in play like most Necro builds are. I think Trudge has a chance to be answered. Yeah, Trudge has been testing the best of all of the new cards. I think I'll just pass. Like if I could just blink their mana, that's pretty good. Might just sack a Clue end of turn. Did he kind of answer how big does a 1-mana creature have to be in Modern with Trudge? Well, usually when people ask that question, they kind of think of like a vanilla creature that can attack and block. Trudge is like, It's like a combo enabler instead. Although those conversations are always so silly. Like I've seen people say as big as a 1 mana 8/8 would see no modern play. It's just people are like really out of touch with that conversation. Because Necro's not so desperately important, any chance one breeding pool is acceptable. I still think I'd like to just have castable mana, but I mean, you could play breeding pool. I don't think that would be completely out of the range to play one. And like this is a game where we would have like probably have fetched it if it was in the deck. So yeah, let's go Witherbloom Charm, flip Tamiyo, and play a frog. Oh, Pony, you're gonna want to do that while I am. I don't have this Witherbloom Charm up. We're getting them 2 games in a row with this. Oh, they forced him to get. I mean, still, I think that's fine. Surely they weren't just trying to have to force Witherbloom Charm there, right? So we should print 1 mana 8. 1 mana 8 would be so broken. It's like those conversations are just so. I mean, I think it's fun. It does remind me a lot of like conversations I had with my friends when I was first getting into Magic, maybe. But I think I genuinely think 1 mana 3/3 no restrictions would see a little play. Like Wild Nikado saw play in Modern post MH2 for a long time, and that card is worse than 1 mana 3/3 no restrictions. Like it just is. It's a 2/2 when it comes down. So like trades with Ragavan. It is sometimes weak to land hate. Like an unrestricted 1 mana 3/3 just I think would be a pretty good modern card, or like maybe not pretty good, but playable enough. Maybe I should have flown the frog. They have a Bowmaster. Okay. Yeah, especially if it was like red with Arena. Now it wouldn't be a very good modern card, but I think it would be like somewhat acceptable. And then like a 1 mana 3/4, I think would see like a good bit of play. 4/3 would see like a more play. It scales up. And like 1 mana 4/4 would be I think too good. Like that would be I think a pretty problematic card. Push seems fine. With a blue 1 mana 3/3 see play. Yeah, I think a 1 mana 3/3 in any color would see play. Like a 1 mana 3/3 in any color would see a little play, and then if you had just one power or toughness, it would see like it just increases it by a lot. Well, this hand's beautiful. Don't have green mana though. Challenge in 30 minutes, yes. There's a 1 mana 4/3. What's the 1 mana 4/3? 1 mana 3/4 would be 2 power creepy. I agree. I think 1 mana 3/3 would be 2 power creepy. I'm not. I have enjoyed Magic's complexity creep. Maybe not for everybody, but in the War of the Spark to Kaldheim era, there was a intentional power level increase to Magic, and I think they like they kept that raised power level because you kind of have to, but instead of just continuing to ramp up, they started to increase the complexity of cards, which I've really enjoyed. I do think it has done some negative things to tournament Magic. I think it does make tournament Magic slower. Living End again. Well, we lost to Living End pretty bad game 1. 1 mana 4/3 would be good power level, I think. Dies to most modern removal and is a powerful threat. I don't know. I just don't think it's good design, but like I just think you could have more interesting creatures like Nethergoyf, Moonshadow. If you like, I think if you want to have a big 1 mana creature, you can design them in a way that it doesn't like break the game, and like in a way that like stuff is more interesting with them. Okay, so step 1 is hope this resolves. Vexing Devil. I mean, Vexing Devil isn't a creature. All right. So I think I'm going to draw 17 cards. Yeah. No, let's draw. Yeah, let's draw 17. Flip Tamiyo. Okay, I have 4 Force of Negations in my deck. I did not draw one. Okay. Yeah, bad deck building, should have put 5. At least I didn't draw too few cards. And that's the reason I didn't have a Force of Negation. So I want to be upkeep sacking this maybe. And edicting the Generous End. I think I say no to another frog, I guess. Is it ever worth put 1 Born Upon the Wind to make use of cards in instep? No. You're not gonna like Born Upon the Wind and then like have a bunch of extra mana to play your stuff. And like that card's already pretty expensive. Oh, they could be playing Neoform too, I guess. Yeah, I guess this just means Neoform, not Living End. Yeah, challenge starts in 25 minutes. All right, so I drew 27 cards. I guess let's just see what the odds of not drawing one of this many cards is. Although now, if they don't find a Pact of Negation, we could still win. Okay, predict. Sorry, I want to do calculation. So in a sample size of 60, or population of 60, we drew 37 cards. Success is for 98.2. Still 5. Yeah, we're in okay shape. We don't see a pact. So let me. I think I'm just going to sack my Necro in my upkeep here. I drew 27. Oh wait, how many did I type? Did I type 37? Fudging the numbers, huh? They do have a consign. Okay, and then they have pact. So we need to trade now. All right, so they do have an endurance in their hand. So we're going to have to be careful with the Tamiyo minus. They also have a consign for this pact. Okay, so they're holding up endurance here. So it seems like I should play Sheoldred with Snare up. And they just have another consign, I guess, and we lose. Or replicate, repudiate, I guess. What are my thoughts on Prismari Charm? I liked it when we played the Archaic deck. I want to play an updated version of that deck with less than 4 Prismari Charm. Less than 4, but I'm interested in playing. I like 2, and then I'm also interested in only playing 3 Archaics in that deck. I think like you just always draw with all your card selection. I think it's fine to go down to 3. Okay, so let me. I think I'm just cutting. I'll kill even 1 push for like Sideboard Oculus. Witherbloom Charm can also kill their Ice Fangs. We also have an Edict. Do you expect opponents to side Blood Moon in? Forces are only answers. You also can just get swamps and just like cast Sheoldred. You can have a frog in play already, but Blood Moon's a little bit of a problem, yeah. There's not a ton of Blood Moons, but you know, it's mostly like Boros has, you know, some number in there, 75 sometimes. So we have a Subtlety. We don't have a blue card. We have Surveil looking for blue card. We have 19 blue cards post board. We also have Edict, which is pretty good against them. I think this is a keep on the play. Would you play another win con over Archaic like Hall of the Storm Giants or nah? Maybe. I don't think you really need one. Maybe if you're only playing 3. Or another Goyfs. The Goyfs are pretty bad with no bobble, and also they're awkward with Necro, right? Oh, wait, the Necro Goyfs? Maybe you're thinking of Cosmogoyf. The Cosmogoyf is better with Necro. So not a blue card, not a keep. We did not find one. Yeah, we are trudging in the challenge. I would play Mutate in Amsterdam for the lulz. I think Prismari Charm stands out. There's an infinite with a mutated creature and Choreograph Sparks. Wait, how do you go infinite with Choreograph Sparks? That card says it can't be copied. That's the new like copy of spell, and the spell itself can't be copied, right? Maybe I'm misremembering. So they don't have to turn 2, thankfully. Or if they have it, they don't feel like they want to go for it into my open mana. So what challenges? Is there a PT invite? No, the challenges are kind of like high competition, not super high stakes. They don't really feed into anything, but they are really competitive and they're good place to test for you guys, I think. All right, let's draw. Let's draw 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm not gonna Thoughtseize. I gotta keep the Witherbloom Charm over the Edict at this point. Although I guess I actually only have the one other blue card. So if they go for if they have Veil up, I'll try to play around Veil by using Subtlety instead of Force. Valdrock lets you cast it from your graveyard, and when the copy resolves, you get to cast it again. Huh. Okay, shout out to Mutate then. Yeah, so they're holding up Veil. I mean, I guess they would always be holding up Veil when they go for Rider. They did pitch a Veil also. Although I guess this is maybe a little awkward against Consign, but they can, if they consign, they can't go for it this turn. Okay. Shelly. It's nice when you have Sheoldred in play because you don't usually need to think too much about the number of cards to draw. Thoughts on drawing like 6 more here, like really low life total. It doesn't seem very necessary. And they did pitch another Veil, so it seems like us playing around that won us this game. Although I guess they evolution, so maybe not. Yeah, I guess not. All right, going to game 3. We might have time for 4 matches before the challenge starts. Which is kind of weird for a deck like this, I guess. It's like a beautiful hand we would love in almost every matchup, but on the draw against Neoform is just... It's just not normal Magic the Gathering, is it? Spike, I like Trudge. I like Trudge too. In a set of instants and sorceries and weird build-arounds, so far the biggest standout is just one big boy. Opponents on a multi-6 will be joining. We have to have Force, Thoughtseize, or Subtlety. Keep. Keep. On the draw against Neoform? You're not gonna go. Are you gonna? Would you go to 5? I don't think I'm going to 5. Easy peasy, by the way. All right, maybe make them discard a Veil here. Honestly, not a very bad exchange. I got 2 lands in play, by the way. I feel like misplaced Ginger right now. They're thinking. Unpopular take, but I love Mutate largely in cube. I can't speak for the mechanic and limited. For me, I just feel like a lot of the intricacies of the mechanic are what I don't like about it. Like I just don't like how it says put it on top or bottom. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, dude. Yeah, I think you're just supposed to snare here. I don't think you're supposed to let them have infinite time to set up like a bunch of disputes and packs, right? They discard a Gulta. Makes sense. Or one of push. And why is it non-human? Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's a flavor thing, but it's weird. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. There's just I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. Over the years, my dislike of Mutate has softened. I think I should slam the Necro here. If they besiege you, it's okay. If they pact and consign, it's okay. Okay. Let's draw 6. Seems fine. I didn't find another blue card. Hopefully it's not too big a problem. Yeah, I think we should do this. So the dispute. So if they have Neoform, they can go for it. If they don't, they can't. And then if they do go for it, it's possible that Sheoldred can still win this game. Oh, we have to dodge Pact. Last time you made me mod when I played in Amsterdam. If I perform well this time, when you give you a list to spin, if you top 8, I'll give you a list to spin. How's that? If they play Beseiju, but if they had a different land, they could have Beseiju the Necro. Maybe they just have another Beseiju. Well, probably gonna lose this game. I guess I just probably should have drawn more cards. I think we'll concede there. Let's see. Oh. Zero discard outlets is insane. You gotta splash for Faithless Looting. I draw the line at playing 0 discard outlets in this deck. I'm just gonna mill it, brother. I guess you could just cast the Archaic. Oh boy, more Eldrazi. Yeah, I do think Glimpse for your Archaic it's an interesting enabler. I think I'm kind of interested in maybe playing Glimpse plus Capricious Hellraiser, plus Archaic and Rage Quitting. Okay, so this is Brood Scale, cool. Well, I'll take the good card. Still have 50 players. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna fire today, chat. So they rumble. They had 2 Fleshbreakers or a Saga. Yeah, it seems like Challenge ain't gonna fire. Bummer. And I can't play one Monday either. So they chose Urza Saga here. They're replacing it. I don't think they do it automatically. We could take a look if they replace it. I don't know if I'm gonna join. We'll see. I might. I thought I was supposed to automatically downgrade. I don't believe that's true. All right, so their hand is Blade, Brood Scale, Mystery Card. They shouldn't be able to combo here. Is the challenge canceled? Probably. Kind of stinks if they don't play the Brood Scale. I'm not going to be able to tap out for Sheoldred. Witherbloom Charm pretty good here. Yeah, I know. I've been looking forward to this too. So I think I'm just kind of happy if they block the frog and I just discard 2 lands here. I'll discard Overgrown Tomb, Swamp, and then play Mortuary. Yeah, Challenge not going to fire at this point. It wasn't on the schedule this morning. I think that's probably why. I should have been promoting it. Yeah, I was saying, Daybreak doesn't dance at my beck and call. I think it's okay if the challenge isn't fire today. We still have plenty of interesting things to be doing. I think I probably will not play Sheoldred unless I draw a land here. Right, seems fine now. They might even cycle a Lantern or Bauble in response. So Force of Negation back up. They grab another copy of Brood Scale. I don't think we can Fatal Push with them having the Brood Scale in their hand. The Plowshares doesn't re-prepare itself, so it's pricing against the blue one. Yeah, I think it's a little bit playable. Like, one thing that's kind of cool about it is, like, Boros, Prowess, Affinity are like the creature decks right now, and like there's just like a lot of token generators that make a lot of creatures. So you do care, like it's gonna prepare itself a lot at the time. I don't know that it's gonna be good, but it will self prepare, and then you can ephemerate it a bunch. Okay, so up again against Brood Scale. I want to bring in the Break the Ice. I'm gonna cut the Graveyard Trespasser. I can cut the Cling to Dust. The snares are really good. The Witherbloom Charm should be pretty good. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just gonna go no pitch cards and play like 2 Culling Rituals. I don't think Culling Ritual's great against them though. It's okay. It's maybe a bit too awkward with my frogs. Could play like a Subtlety or 2. Yeah, well, we had up to 50 people to challenge, and then it just it didn't fire. And it also again it wasn't posted this morning, which is kind of the problem. So I'm the draw for game 2 against Broodscale. Yeah, Modern is dead. We have plenty of interesting Strixhaven stuff to be testing today. Wait, play League with the challenge deck or defer it for Monday? I have a doctor's appointment Monday. I just can't play a challenge. Is it at 32 starting 20 minutes? I didn't think so. I'll check. No, this is in 9 hours. I'm glad that y'all are really excited. I'm excited too, you know. It'll happen. All right. No Bobble, no Devour, no Rumble. They play in Ugin's Lab. Why the inclusion of Green Black Charm? So it's really good with Tamiyo. Actually, look, I can just tell you every card's in my hand here. So you can go attack with Tamiyo, sack the clue token, flip Tamiyo, and you can also minus a Witherbloom Charm to make a green mana, the little known mode on Tamiyo. And then Charm is also really good with Necro. You can sack the Necro in your upkeep or in step. You can also just gain 5 life to draw more cards with Necro. It's also just a good removal spell in this format. And so the fact that it's like good card draw spell, good removal spell. That's nice to have something be both of those things. Although it sure ain't Abrupt Decay against Glaring Fleshraker, I guess. Suppose we're gonna be flipping the Tamiyo now. I just want to see our board being casted modern. It's been pretty good. We topped 4 the challenge last week with it and trophied. It's awesome. We'll be back. Ooh, that's a lot of lands. So maybe we minus on Witherbloom Charm next turn so that we can try to draw into Fatal Push and push the Fleshraker. Trudge League. We could maybe do, I mean, we've already done Trudge League. There's more to get to. We will play Trudge. We'll play more Trudge. Just maybe not today. They grab a Kozilek's Command. I hear that card's pretty good. A second Fleshraker. Yeah, I thought about the Kishla Skimmer Shell too. So if I minus on Witherbloom Charm the Tamiyo dies because it only has 3 loyalty after the attack. To another land. So I already have Revolt for Fatal Push, so I don't need to play a fetch land here. So I'm gonna sort of vibes based draw 7 cards, and if I don't find Fatal Push, I'll concede. Do find Fatal Push. I drew a. I don't. Do I have lands left in the deck after this? Three, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I do have like 9 lands left still. But holy guacamole. So they can hit me for down to 6 and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I go to 1, right? I guess I'm probably just dead to him any other colorless spell. Okay, they hold it up. One, two, three, four, 5. You gotta gain life and control. I was thinking I might gain life after they K command. Because they might just get kind of sloppy on the scries. Yeah, so I want them to maybe just get kind of sloppy on the scries here. And they're not. I don't know. I guess I need to draw like my Sheoldred's Edict here. Touch on my decision not to run Rumble in this deck. Not as good as next best card. I don't think it's really good at all here. Like, it doesn't curve into anything well besides Sheoldred, I guess. And we have a lot, like we're a Psychic Frog Witherbloom Charm deck, so we're not using the spawn token very well. We have a lot of instants and sorceries, so like the card selection there is not so good. I'd play Preordain over Rumble in this deck. All right, I think I'm just gonna draw 5 and try to find my Sheoldred. Oh, I draw 4, so I can start getting life with Sheoldred. Okay, game 3. Yeah, I don't think that this is not a Rumble deck at all, I guess. Okay, on the play. Hey, Ain. Thanks again, Carbon, for the 7 months. This is a Culling Ritual matchup, in my opinion. I feel like the Ugin's Labyrinth Devourer build isn't. I think it's not that often you get to get multiple stuff, and also we're a Frog Tamiyo deck. I do like having Snare a lot, but we have to mulligan the 1-lander. All right, try this. If it is, yeah, it is Brood Scale, but it's like the Devourer build. I don't think it's nearly as good against this build. I'm going to try this in an Abzan, Ketramos, Necroshell without Soul Spike. I do think Witherbloom Charm is really good in all of your green-based Necroshells, and I think most of your Necroshells just will be green-based anyways. So they imprint a Devourer to Lab. And they pass the turn. I would like to draw a Tamiyo, although I don't love that I can't Fatal Push... I can't Fatal Push a Fleshraker this turn. Shouldn't be that big a deal. I can just do that next turn. Would have been great in my opening hand. Could have flipped the Tamiyo this turn. They have Dismember. Dismember is just so impossible to play around. Although I don't know how they haven't cast it yet. They K command on 0. Okay, well that's way better. So they probably have a second K command, and then they drew Eldrazi Temple, I'm assuming. And now they're going to play their second K command on my Tamiyo. No, they play Thought-Knot Seer. So they'll go Thought-Knot Seer, take my Fatal Push. So we get pretty punished for tapping out for Tamiyo, I guess. We could flip the Tamiyo, and the Seer doesn't kill it. Which might be just a good way to like not take so much damage in our Necro deck. Let's see what we draw. We draw Frog. I guess I'll be playing that instead. So their hand is full of mostly gas. Hopefully they don't have another land. Hopefully they have like a bunch of green cards stuck in hand. Hopefully they don't have a second K command. I think if they had a second K command, I don't know how often they're gonna cast the Seer instead of the K command. They might. They play a Blade off the Temple, so they probably don't have another K command because they would have tapped the Lab. There's Ballista on 1. Okay, Ballista on 1. Then they pass the turn. SOS Marta makes me think you want to save the format. Yeah, that is kind of the dual. That's kind of the pun in the title, I guess. Okay, gonna keep that. Let's fly the frog. I'd love to find a land to double spell here. We could potentially hope. Any hopers in the chat? We could if we miss on the frog, we could draw 2 with the Witherbloom Charm to try to find the land. And then lose the game if we miss. I don't think we quite lose the game. We could also draw Fatal Push, so like we have like 3 extra good hits here. Yeah, people keep saying, is it the modern challenge? There's not a new one created automatically. No, if one doesn't fire, that's just misinfo. That's never been the case. So that worked out. It's like it's all manual, and it looks like they haven't added one, and that's okay. We got plenty of just leagues to test, and we'll still be battling today. So they can kill the Tamiyo, but it costs them the Ballista, and they let me hit them with the frog for free. So they probably should have equipped the blade here. Oh, wow, they just are letting me keep the Tamiyo. Interesting. So I guess I'm going to be super happy if they just chump block with the Ballista. So I think that they are not going to. So let's just not fly the frog. I don't think we need to Witherbloom Charm. So deal 1 damage to me. Let's sack the Clue, draw 2. Why Studios first year over Elvish Pioneer in the Flare of Cultivation deck? Elvish Pioneer requires you play like even more basics than we're already playing. It also just like is not card disadvantage. But we haven't played it yet on stream. Might be the next deck. So they do have another temple. I think I'm just gonna chump with Tamiyo. I could chump and then I could sack it to Witherbloom Charm maybe, but I think I'm just gonna hold up the charm. To maybe kill the blade end of turn. Yeah, let's kill the blade. It's kind of painful, I guess. I'm a bit worried about K command on the Tamiyo minus. So let's go attack first. If they do have a K command, it's going to be difficult for them to resist. Stopping the frog. If this resolves, it should win the game. Okay, nice. Everybody's favorite play. Everybody cheer. Overload, break the ice. Is it better to sub or gift a sub? Well, if you subscribe, then you can watch the stream ad-free, and you also get access to emotes and stuff. So I would definitely encourage you prioritizing your own viewing experience, because this is, your entertainment. We do try to, improve ourselves and our deck building somewhat here, but this is, your leisure time, and, you should prioritize yourself and the way you enjoy it. And if subscribing's not in the budget, I'm just happy you're here. I'm prepping to play Modern in Vegas next week. I haven't played in over a year. What's at the top of the meta right now? I am, baby. Did you look at your vampire idea? I did not. Although I don't know. I just if it's like the Sorin stuff with the new card, I feel like I just kind of want to build that myself. So we're on the draw against a Verdant Catacombs. Verdant Catacombs Hedge Maze. Could be Neoform, could be Simic Ritual. I guess I don't feel like Living In usually plays Verdant Catacombs, but I guess I don't see why they couldn't. Odawara Graveyard means Living End, or I mean, I guess it could still mean any of these decks. That's the BJ with 2 gifted subs. Thank you. All right, so let's keep this, and I would love to hold up these, but I think we'll just try to set up for Necro next turn. I guess we keep Sheoldred. Maybe a little risky. So it looks like it is Simic Ritual. A lot of Simic Ritual lately. We are pretty cold to Harbinger here. They have Agent, thankfully. They hit Birthing Ritual. We do have Witherbloom Charm that can kill the ritual, but they're going to get a trigger here. So let's hope they don't just go Shardless Agent into Ritual into Oculus, which is always the nuts. Okay. Today isn't challenged. It did not fire. All right, let's go to game 2. That's a tough draw. So we have Witherbloom Charm 4 and Spell Snare for Ritual, so I don't think we need to play Force of Negations. I think it might just be some subtleties over Force, although I do like Graveyard Trespasser against them. I don't necessarily love it, I guess. Culling Ritual is not too bad either. Maybe I do want to be really in on Subtlety because of Harbinger. Harbinger is not really that bad, though, because if we get Swamps, we just have blue and black mana. And so just kind of like, maybe it make Necro hard to cast, and maybe it'll make Witherbloom Charm hard to cast. I'm gonna cut the Cling. It's not no, Cling is good in this matchup, just as a grindy card. I'm gonna cut the Edict. Edict's pretty bad against all their little guys. And then probably just 2 Trespasser. Yeah, the Manifest Dreads are non-token. I'm gonna keep this. Not a really good hand, but hard to mulligan. Just 3 lands, 4 spells in this matchup. Culling Ritual. I feel like with the Witherbloom Charms, we don't need to be playing Culling Ritual, but could be wrong. Probably answered a million times what is the best way to brew. I wrote an article on this when I wrote for Channel Fireball back in the day, but all good brews start with a good idea, and then trying to maximize that idea, and then evaluating the idea. Have idea, form idea, test idea. That's all. Every brew. I guess we're hoping that they cast a Birthing Ritual. Not loving nothing, I guess. Graveyards and Oculus. Untap Breeding Pool. Plays a Birthing Ritual with a Hedge Maze up. Which resolves. So what's this? It's not Spell Snare. It's not Spell Pierce. Could it be Mystical Dispute? It could be Mystical Dispute. I think I'm just gonna slam Sheoldred. Sheoldred's really insane against them. I just have a hard time removing it. Yeah, it could be Dismember. So if it's Dismember, this is not the right pick here. So they play an Agent. They hit a Coiling Oracle. Not one of the card draw guys. Yeah, maybe you can sign for the Necro trigger. Could be that, I suppose. Although I usually don't mind that exchange too much. It's a little weird. I'm going to push the Oracle first, so if they have Flare, they have to sack the Agent. Shouldn't matter a lot. Yeah, they have Force. They pitch an Oculus. They are in cast Oculus territory, I guess. I can sack a land with Witherbloom Charm to turn on Revolt or Fatal Push. It's kind of a cool line. They get flibble flip, and then they draw 2, which is worse than drawing 1 here. So this is going to be more or less free to play. See what we find. I do think we should go for lethal. Maybe I'm off. It feels like building a brew requires metagame evaluation. Yeah, of course. I mean, part of it is like a lot of your ideas are like this thing is good in the metagame. Oh, right. This stuff, they can't even counter this because of this trigger. Like even the counter spell, they'd die. Now, yeah, cool. I'm glad they have that downside on Flibble Flip. But yeah, of course, it is all within the lens of like what the rest of the metagame is doing. If I want to try something with Boomerang, Basics, and Super Shredder, then I need to think about what cards surround it. Is it fast enough to go to Brew idea? Is it only good late? Yeah. Again, I mean, maybe we're just agreeing, but when I say, how do you brew? You have an idea, you maximize the idea, then you evaluate the idea via testing, and that's part of the evaluation stage. So Emil, you've come into chat twice now. And I just think it's funny. Twice now you go, Spike, here's my deck list. It's not finished. Here's my Is It Wizards deck, and here is a new. Now you have lands in the deck, which is cool. Arid Mace is probably not going to be right. You probably just want blue fetch lands. 3 mount. Yeah, you're playing with way too many mountains in your counterspell deck. You might want to play 0. It's going to be 0 or 1. All right, and then that's probably all the time I have for pasted chats. But one big issue, and like the one issue why you don't really see decks like Is It Wizards, like you've posted in the chat here, is Flage is just like impossible to win against. This is usually why you see like Dimir doing better than Is It, is because they get access to Cling to Dust as a way to fight Flage. I guess I have to take the Harbinger here. Do you think Tasigur is playable in current meta? Control Freak scored top 8. Yeah, I think I saw like a little bit of like his YouTube video. Tasigur, whenever you cast Tasigur for 1 mana, it's good. You know, Tasigur is a playable modern card. It's not like a super good modern card though. So I guess I play Delta, so if they have Harbinger, I can get a Swamp. Yeah, my first ever modern deck was Grixis Delver with Tasigur. It was so sick. I think I played 3 Tasigur, 1 Gurmag Angler. I might be misremembering. Candy, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Playing a Sultai Necro deck with Witherbloom Charm right now. So they're going to play a Shardless Agent here. And we know they have a Flare in their hand, so if they hit Birthing Ritual, which they do, I can target with the Witherbloom Charm, but then they're going to get to sack to Flare. But then we do get to slam. The Sheoldred. I guess we might as well do this before they attack, because maybe they'll want to sack the Ice Fang over the Agent, although I'd probably just sacks the Agent. Now we could have maybe Witherbloom Charmed the Ice Fang last turn. We didn't know we were going to draw the second one. It seemed like a great exchange. Right, just a Flibble Flip. Yeah, I think I should just play Sheoldred, and I can go Witherbloom plus Necro next turn. In this matchup, this card is just so tough for them to deal with. Hopefully they didn't draw a second Flare. They did draw a second Flare. So we know they have Endurance, and then it's like 4 mystery cards. One of them is a basic island. Where do they tap in mana before they draw here? They reveal an Oculus into their hand. Hopefully they don't put 1 into play or a Harbinger. More Flibble Flips, huh? Alright, well, let's try to kill the Birthing Ritual. Catch up on the cards, maybe? Catching up on cards. So I think I just want to draw like 3 or 4. I'd really like to find a Thoughtseize for next turn. Okay, didn't find a Thoughtseize. So I guess we're going to be pretty all in on the Sheoldred resolving, huh? They could have a Subtlety pretty easily. All right, taking 2 down to 7. We know they have an Oculus from the Coiling Oracle trigger, so I'd be surprised if they didn't cast Oculus here. Okay, they start off by Besageing my Necro. They could have done this after I drew. And now they're just giving me a Surveil and an extra draw, which is interesting, although I no longer have the Necro to combo with my Sheoldred. So I could keep this, and I could go Tamiyo plus Sheoldred plus Frog next turn. Seems like that could be okay. The chump blocker for the Oculus is okay. Definitely not a great line. Oh, and they just play a Harbinger. So I can play Tamiyo plus... Oh, imagine if I just got Swamp here. Maybe just getting Swamp was good. Oh, I guess yeah, I'll probably hold the Catacombs to discard, actually. They did have a Subtlety. I think I'll pack it in. And I think I'm just gonna pivot decks. I don't know. We haven't played like a full league of this. We've played like 5 matches now. Seems like okay. I do think the card Witherbloom Charm is good. It's possible like I don't exactly feel like Necro is very good in the meta, if that makes sense. But it does feel good with Necro. So like if you're gonna play Necro, I'd love to play Witherbloom Charm. And then I don't know exactly how important the Tamiyo synergy is. Like the mana's pretty bad. Maybe we should. I think next time I'll play another Golgari deck. Maybe not Necro. But I do like the card Witherbloom Charm. Let's So we have the mono green flare deck with